Good morning, everybody, and it's time for the Kelly Williams Show. Yay! I'm so excited today because guess who I have right here live via internet? The beautiful 2021 Miss Colorado America, Maura Carroll. Hi, Maura. How are you? I'm so excited to visit with you today, and we're going to find out about everything you do in your journey to Miss America. Yes, and we're going to be right back after this commercial break, guys. Grab your coffee, grab a mimosa, meet us right back here and share the show. You don't want to miss my interview with 2021 Miss Colorado America. See you in just a minute.
Oh, that's so cute.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited because today we are talking military and pageants. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes they just go together because we have the gorgeous, amazing Maura Carroll. She is the newly crowned 2021 Miss Colorado America. And Maura, we are so excited to see you today.
Thank you so much for having me. You're too sweet. You're too kind to me.
I'm so excited. And I want to let people know, guys, if you are just tuning in, you can actually comment right here on the show. Let us know where you're watching from. Say hi to Maura right here in the comments. And if you have a question for her, we can get it answered right here on the show. So we're so excited. Okay, so Maura, where were you born?
Well, I was born in Houston, Texas, lived and raised there until I was 18 years old. Then I joined the Army. Ended up getting stationed at Fort Carson about 2 years ago, and it's been history ever since. I'm never going back home. I'm staying here.
Wonderful. Okay, so why did you enlist in the Army? Was this a dream of yours?
It actually wasn't. I remember specifically I was, oh my gosh, maybe 10 years old, and we had a Navy SEAL come into my school, and he, giving one of those inspirational talks and talking with the military. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I would never do that. That's crazy. So when I was about 17, I started thinking about joining. I had seen a lot about it. I was super into Captain America, so that helped and influenced me a little bit. And my grandfather was also in the Air Force. So when I found out that the Army would help pay for college and would get me out of my hometown, like I said, born and raised in Houston, lived there my entire life. It helped me get travel, get some life experience, get to see the world. I decided that it would be an amazing opportunity. So I enlisted about a week after my 18th birthday, and a couple months after that, I shipped out for basics.
Wow. I mean, that was a whirlwind,
right?
Really, for you. Yes. Okay. So what did your parents think?
Well, my mom knew I was hiding something from her because I didn't tell her right away. So my grandma and I were in cahoots because we knew mom would not be okay with it at first, which she's since become accepting because she's seen how good it is for me. But
absolutely,
she was really worried, as is reasonable. And we were driving in the car one day, I remember specifically, and I had asked her for my social security number because I needed it to enlist, my social security card. And I just told her, I was like, oh, I'm applying for a job. Don't worry about it. And we're driving. We're driving in the car, and my mom, we're all real quiet. And she kind of turns to me and she goes, you're keeping something from me. And I was like, yeah. And she went, are you joining the military? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh my gosh, are you going to go Air Force? And I was like, no. And she went, oh my gosh. Navy? She asked me if I was joining the Navy because she said that they have really good uniforms. I said, no, absolutely not. I'm going Army. She was like, no, go Air Force. And I told her, I was like, it's too late now. Sorry, Mom. It's been for the last 3.5 years. she'll remind me every once in a while, the Navy still has really good uniforms and you could sweat. And I'm like, no, it's too late now.
But Mama, I look good in camo. Look how good this looks. I love it. Exactly. And speaking of your mom, Sydney's watching from Houston. Good morning, Mama.
Hey, Mama.
And okay, so guys, if you were just tuning in, share this show and you can comment right here and say hi to Maura. And we are so excited. Okay, so you are not only the newly crowned Miss Colorado America 2021, but you were also an All Source Intelligence Analyst for the United States Army. So, and that's what we're talking about right now first. Okay, so that is so sweet that you followed your granddaddy's steps going to the military. I just love that. And you know what? We have some good friends that are Navy SEALs, so it is very inspiring.
Really?
I totally get it that you were going, that is so cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay, now, so you are an All Source Intelligent Analyst, and I don't know what MOS is, a 35F.
Military occupational specialty, so it's my job in the military.
Very cool. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do? Because the title is very cool. It's like kind of a spy.
Right? Yeah. They told me I was going to be like James Bond. They lied to me. So I decided to go into intel because of my grandfather. He was in intelligence. He didn't tell us until the late 90s, which was about 35 years afterwards, but he was in the CIA for a point in time.
Wow.
Yeah. So we always made the joke about, you were a spy, and he would do what an actual spy would do, and he would go, no, and then he would just change the subject. But so he passed away in 2016, and when I originally enlisted, I wanted to be a military police officer, did some research into it, and then I was like, I don't really think that makes sense for me. And I went back to MEPS, which is where we sign our contracts and pick our job, and they had 35 Fox open, and I was like, what is that? And that's when they lied to me and said, oh, you'll be like James Bond. Most of what I do is just looking at different types of information. I specialize in open source reporting. And we analyze movements and things like that to predict what the battlefield is going to look like in the future. So It is cool. It's super nerdy, but I absolutely love it. I love
it. I love that it's nerdy and cool. Did you get any kind of really cute trench coat or anything?
No. Well, I got a trench coat with my ASUs, but it's not cute. It comes down because I'm short, so it comes down to about my ankles. And I wear it and it looks like this. I can't do anything else in it.
That's hilarious. I love it. I love that. Okay, so Maura, so I don't. How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. Wow. So you have been in the Army for how long now?
3 years.
3 years.
A month, 2 months.
Wow. What do you think serving in the Army has taught you about yourself?
Oh my goodness. I could go on a whole long rant about that. That's not even a quick answer. That's more of a life story, right?
That might be a top 5 question.
Yeah, right? It's just, I have to actually think about that because there's been so much that I've learned. Mostly that I'm capable of a lot more than I thought I was. Because like I said, I was not an athletic kid growing up. I was not super diligent. I always, again, ADHD, it's really difficult because a lot of us, before we're diagnosed, deal with the stigma of thinking, oh, we're lazy, we don't work hard, all these things, when it's just executive dysfunction, comorbid depression, anxiety, things like that prevent us from being able to work hard at things that don't give us dopamine, because ADHD is a lack of dopamine. And so when I joined, I was really trying to prove to myself, like, I can stick with something, I can work hard for something that I want, and I can accomplish whatever I put my mind to.
Yeah. And
then I did. And so I kept setting these goals for myself and I kept accomplishing them. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe this tape that's been playing in the back of my head isn't accurate. Maybe I am capable of all these things that I thought I would never be capable of. If you had told me when I was 15, hey, you're going to eventually work out for a living, basically, and do physical activity and also do analysis, I would have been like, you're crazy. I threw up running a mile in gym and we're not being timed for it. We're just doing it to do it. I used to walk the 1 mile run in 5th grade. And so to see such a complete 180 change in myself and in the way that I perceive myself and the way that I work has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And just so affirming to know that I really am capable of all those things that I thought, oh, I want to do that, but I'm never going to be able to. And now to actually be standing here and being like, oh my gosh, here are all the things that I've accomplished and here are all the things I want to do. And now I know that I can do them. Crazy.
Absolutely. And what an inspiring story, because I'm going to tell you, I think a lot of times children grow up with these labels and you can't do this and their own limits. People set limits on themselves, and we can really, it's limitless, and it's just how much you want to believe in that yourself can do some things. And look at how much you've accomplished in such a short time. It's really amazing.
Right.
And look, good morning, Vanessa. She's watching from College Station. It's one of my pageant friends.
Maggie.
So good morning. Good morning. Love that. Okay. So I want to ask you this. So you just confirmed with me this morning that you are the first active military person to be competing on the Miss America stage.
Yes, ma'am.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yes. I mean, that's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. And it's amazing that it is, that you're it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. And really quickly, good morning, Shauna. This is one of my friends. They were both in the military. So they're watching from Kemah, Texas. They're proud of you.
They're my old neighbors.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot. Y'all know each other. I love that. I love it. So, when you found that out, how did that make you feel?
Well, I knew going into Miss Colorado that I was going to be the first, because we've had reservists and we've had National Guards compete, but I was going to be the first active duty, which there's been a lot of confusion about it. So I'll just clear it up right now. Yeah. There is no right or wrong way to serve in the military. There are reservists, there are National Guardsmen, and there is active duty. So active duty means that my life is the Army. I live on base, I work on base. This is my life 24/7, unless I go, stay with my family in Denver or do something like to get away from it. Whereas the reservists or National Guardsmen, reserves is federal, National Guard is state. I would be, or they would do drills for 1 week in a month, and then for 2 weeks a year for annual training. So it's more of a part-time gig. It's still strenuous because they have to deal with having a career and education on top of their military obligations, whereas I get to focus on the military. But my time is a lot more constrained because at a moment's notice, I could have my NCO call me up and be like, hey, we need you here at 6 a.m. and it's 10 p.m. on a Saturday. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'll go to staff duty today.
Yeah.
So it's very different. And I really lucked out when I got with the chain of command that I have, because I understand how crazy it was to have a 19-year-old come in and say, like, I want to go to law school and I want to be Miss America and I want, all these things, and I'm going to do it. And then to be like, okay, cool, we'll support you.
Oh, love that.
I'm so thankful. Again, I'm a big believer in God's timing and being right where you need to be. And I can't help but think that God literally put me exactly where he wanted me to be.
Absolutely.
Because I could not have a greater support system than the people that I work with.
I agree completely. And I love it. And we want to shout out to some people watching. Sandy, she's so proud of you. Good morning, Sandy. Vincent, hoorah from West Virginia.
Ooh.
Good morning. Thank y'all for watching. Tyler Reynolds watching from Portageville,
Missouri.
So proud of you, my BCT friend. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, Tyler. And Lorene. Hey, Lorene.
Hi.
She's watching. Good morning, everybody. And look, if you're just joining us, comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Give this precious young lady some love, because I'm going to tell you, she is amazing. And God is doing big things with her life right here. And, Maura, what's amazing, I didn't realize you were just 21. Mm-hmm. Your accomplishments are so much bigger than your age. And I love that for you, because at 21, a lot of young people right now are struggling with, they don't even know what they want to do. They have no guidance. They're out partying because they really don't have any, future plans. They don't know. Mm-hmm. You are All Source Intelligence for the United States Army. You just became the 2021 Miss Colorado America, and you are about to compete at Miss America.
Isn't that crazy?
Do you just say it every morning? I'm going to Miss America.
I wrote it in my journal's right over there, but I wrote it in it last night.
Yeah.
Because I haven't updated it. I have another one that's for my years with Colorado, and then this one, which I've had since I was 15.
Yeah.
And I have passages from when I was like 17 years old saying, I know what I want to do. I want to be Miss America. I just don't know how I'm going to get there.
Love it.
And then last night I was writing in it and I wrote, I'm Miss Colorado. I'm going to Miss America. Writing it feels so weird because this makes it final.
Absolutely.
In this little journal that I've had for 6 years, I've been keeping it since January 2015. And my life completely changed in those 6 years.
Isn't that amazing? That's so much fun to be able to read that and see how your life has changed, see what God's done with you. Yeah. It's amazing. So good morning, Cindy. So proud of you.
Cindy.
And Gina is watching from Pearland. Maura, you're amazing. Thanks for being a great example to women everywhere. Best of luck and God bless you. Thank you so much, Gina, for watching. Guys, share this show. I want you to share this show and let people tune in to see what this amazing young lady has accomplished and what she's going to be doing, because this, thank the Lord, is one of our futures of this country, and we are so proud of you. Okay, so I want to kind of start focusing in on the pageant stuff now. How long have you been competing in pageants?
Oh my gosh. I started competing in little one-offs, you know what I mean, around 2011. I had begged my mom for years. I watched Miss America when I was younger, and I kept saying, I want to be Miss America. And she'd be like, graduate kindergarten. And eventually I wore her down so much that she was like, okay, well, I'll let you compete in one, because she thought it was going to be like all my other extracurriculars I picked up, where I was really excited about it for a month and then I gave it up. It's been almost 10 years, so that didn't quite work out for her. I started competing in the Miss America organization itself when I was 13, because we had a friend who approached us, who was the director of, again, one of those smaller little one-off pageants that we went to. And she said, do you know what Miss America's Outstanding Teen is? I think you should compete. And I was like, what? They have a teen program? I thought you had to be, an adult. She's like, no, they have for 18 or 13 to 17-year-olds. And I said, that's so cool. I'm 13 next year, Mom. And so I started competing. And
wow.
I just fell in love with it even more. Every time I competed, every time I got together with my Miss America sisters, every time I got to just go out and do appearances, meet people, talk about Miss America, do my talent, sing the national anthem, or what have you. I just fell more and more in love with the concept of Miss America and with the organization itself.
Absolutely. Well, and the thing is that when you compete in a pageant and you love it, it's like anything else that you do. You know that you have to work hard to compete, and it causes you to really focus on some different things that will help you throughout life, which is wonderful, which that's what I do love about the pageant systems. And yes, Vanessa, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Thank you for your service. Be the crown. That's exactly right. Okay, so you started at age 13, pretty much in the Miss America system. Okay, so, was all pageant girls have platforms, of course. Yeah. And did your platform change in the teen program? Did you have to have a platform as well?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that, and has it changed at all, or is it the same?
It has. So I started out talking about accepting the differently abled and things like that. I worked with Special Olympics Texas. I worked with Best Buddies because my brother Sam is autistic. Okay. So I really wanted to, I was raised to where it's like, Sam is different. Yeah. You're different from some people. Everyone's a little different. Some people have bigger differences, but we still accept them.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to spread a message. I was a cute little 13-year-old who was like, I just want everyone to be friends. Why can't we all be friends? Yeah. And as I got older and I got more life experience, I shifted my focus away from that towards more mental health awareness. And now I talk about military mental health care because, again, I have personal experience with it. I live in the military mental health care system. Yeah. And I also talk about grief because, as you know, my sister passed away in 2015, and it was kind of a light bulb moment where I realized that when I try to prevent service members and veterans from committing suicide, it's not just to prevent suicide. It's because I know what it feels like to grieve.
Absolutely.
You grieve for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You love them for the rest of your life. You never stop loving them. And so I wanted to prevent those families from having to understand lifelong grief the way that my family does.
Yeah.
And that's when it was like, oh, okay, perfect. I can incorporate all these things that I've been through, all these really hard times that I've had, and help people.
Yeah.
And be able to continue to help people. And so we're also looking into expanding to helping those who are grieving those who have committed suicide, which I'm very excited about, because again, there's a whole population of people that tend to be ignored, especially as a bereaved sibling. We tend to not get the kind of attention that other family members do.
Yeah.
That attention should be taken away from them, but it seems that as a sibling, my relationship with my sister, for example, almost comes across as less important.
Yeah.
And that is so difficult to deal with, because now I not only have to grieve, but I have to accept that my grief isn't as big as others, even though it is.
Yeah.
So it's very, very complicated. But as I started shifting in my focus on that, I realized that I was doing it for more than myself. And that's why I'm just so excited for some of the things that we have coming up that we're planning right now that I can't really talk about, but I want to.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm really proud of you taking your life experiences and using it to help others, because I think that's what God wants us to do. I know we're all here to help each other, and sometimes we go through these things so that we're able to help other people, either prevent them from going through it or help them after they've dealt with the same things. Because so many people have gone through the same things, and it just feels like you're alone. And you're the only person going through it. And it's not like that, and it's just wonderful that you're able, and you have a platform to do this on, and that you're able to reach so many people and change lives. And I just love that. And thank you for that, because that's very, very important. You will actually be saving lives. I believe it. Okay. So how many times did you compete in the Miss America system?
This was my second time.
Second time. Okay. Now, did you compete for Miss Colorado before?
No.
Or was it somewhere?
I was going to compete in Colorado in 2020, but then
okay.
pandemic happened, so there wasn't any state competitions except for Montana, which had theirs, and they just didn't have one this year.
Yeah.
But so Colorado canceled theirs, Miss America was canceled. So I was like, oh darn, okay. Well, I wasn't quite ready yet, and I knew that, because I was still on the fence in April of last year whether I wanted to compete or not. And so this year I competed in Texas in 2019 because I won my local title, Miss Coppell, before I went to basic.
Wonderful.
And then when I got stationed in Colorado, I was like, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm staying here. I want to live here. I'm gonna be going to school here once I get out. And
beautiful. Yeah.
When I'm working here and living here. So I'm very excited. I was super excited about that, because no one got stationed at Carson their first try. And I got ready for it in a way that I never have before.
Yeah.
Whereas I realized there's just a mind shift change, I think in part because I was diagnosed with ADHD. So I understood how my brain worked. And instead of trying to treat it like someone who is neurotypical, I understood, hey, my brain just doesn't function that way. I need to work with it and not against it.
Yeah.
That really helped my mindset. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. As well as going to therapy. Shout out to my therapist, Miss Jones. I love you forever. And so, whereas before I realized that I was competing and I felt like I had to prove myself, like, please like me. I promise that I'm great and I'd be a good title holder. Yeah. I went in with the mindset of, I'm going to compete the best that I ever have. I'm going to be happy with what I put out on stage, in that interview room, what have you. And if it's my time, then it's my time. And if it's not, it's not. And it's okay, because I'm only 21. So I have, all these years still left to compete. And that, I think, really helped me, because instead of trying to prove myself and prove how good I am to them, I came in saying, this is me. This is what I'm capable of. This is what I want to do. And you can take it or leave it.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to change myself.
No, and you know what? This is so interesting for me to hear you say this, because every single title holder that I have interviewed on this show has said almost the exact same thing. And I love that, because it's just the truth. You all feel like the year you win, it was a total different mindset. You know what? I just went as myself.
Yep.
I wasn't comparing myself to anybody else. I wasn't worried about what that girl's gown looked like. I wasn't trying to figure out what the judges wanted me to say. I came in as myself, saying, here I am. I'm awesome. This is what I can do. This is what I've done. And this is what I'm doing now. And that's it. And if I don't win, it's okay. Because I'm going to leave it all out here on the stage on this weekend. And I'm going to do some amazing things, and I'm going to have fun. And I'm going to know that I worked hard for this. Literally. And it's interesting, but it's because, you know, people get a wrong sense of pageants, and there's this fear that I'm not going to be good enough, that the real me is not what they want to see, but it's exactly the opposite. Yeah.
And I remember, again, seeing for years and years and years all these title holders and women saying, you know, the year that I won it was the year that I realized that I had to just be authentic.
Yeah.
Myself, and not worry about what they thought of me, because I'm so confident in myself that I knew that I wasn't taking my worth from an outside source. My worth comes from me and from God, not from someone else.
Absolutely.
Especially not from a group of strangers who have the job of only giving one woman the title.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
And when I was 13, and they used to say, oh, you either win or you learn, you never lose.
Yeah.
You know, teenager me was like, that is so stupid. That is not true. Blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, I thought I knew everything. I was like, I know better than these directors and people. And now I'm 21. I'm like, oh my goodness, I really was learning every single time.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with saying that I lost, because there's some times that I did lose because of the way that I performed, the way my mom
Absolutely.
But I learned from it too. So that's why I think I was so okay going into it, especially in that top 2 moment. I was like, I think it's my time, but if it's not, I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I knew that I was so proud of everything that I had done, the performance that I had had, and how far I had come, that I wasn't worried about the validation. And I wasn't worried about whether this year is going to be the one that I get to go to Miss America and get to represent this beautiful state, and go around it and travel and meet people. I knew that I would have other opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's just mind-blowing to me, again, to look back and go through my journal, especially, and see just how my mindset has changed just by reading those entries. And if you read just one or two from every year that I've had it, you can see this huge shift as I go from battling with depression, because I was, to grief, to anxiety about the future, to going in the Army and saying, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through basic, to suddenly I graduated basic, and now I'm in AIT, and now I'm going to Miss Texas, and oh my gosh, I'm in Colorado. I'm so happy I'm in Colorado. It's just so funny to look back at the journey and realize, oh my goodness, I grew more than I thought I was.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love that you, especially, are somebody that has kept a journal, because what an eye opener.
Right.
To really see what has happened and what you've gone through, and remember those times of self-doubt and struggles, but positive thinking and saying, okay, it's all right. It's the affirmation of what you're doing is a learning thing, and that it's just making you a better person each time you go through things. I love that. What do you think, you were talking about ADHD. What do you think has been one of your biggest struggles through your life? Has it been that?
Honestly, I hate to say that I've had a lot of struggles, but I have. But honestly, I would say that the one common thread that made everything more difficult was my ADHD.
Yeah.
Just because it's so misunderstood, that it's very easy to misdiagnose, especially in women, because it actually presents very differently for women than it does in men. For example, my hyperactivity presents as being a chatterbox. I was the kid in class. You couldn't sit down next to anyone because I was talking anyone's ear off. It didn't matter. And also anxiety, because if I can't get that physical energy out of my body, it internalizes and then I get anxious. Whereas for a boy, typically hyperactivities, bouncing off the walls, being all crazy, like, oh my gosh, here, I'm going to run there and do that. And that's just not how it was for me. But there's also an emotional aspect of ADHD that people don't know about. We struggle a lot with emotional regulation. So because we lack dopamine, our brain doesn't regulate emotion the way it would for other people. So that's when you get those super quick mood swings.
Yeah.
We struggle a lot with impulse control, which doesn't just look like I'm going to, punch a kid in the arm. It looks like, oh, I'm going to go, I want to buy something. I'm going to go spend $300. It looks like, just all these different things. And especially with like concentration and focus, I remember always thinking why, and being told by teachers, other kids are able to sit down and do their homework when they get home. Why can't you? Other kids are able to do the reading quietly. Why can't you? And I would sit there and be like, well, I already did the reading. Why do I have to sit here quietly when I can just read my own book?
Yeah.
Why can other kids sit down and do their homework? I want to, but I can't make myself do it.
Yeah.
So this tape started playing of, oh, you're just being lazy. You just need to work harder. You just need to do better. And when you have trusted adults, teachers and mentors telling you that, the tape keeps playing over in your head until that's what you assume about yourself.
Yeah.
The first 20 years of my life, I honestly believed, oh, I'm just lazy and I just don't work hard and I'm just not capable. And I have all this potential, but I'm never going to realize it because I just am lazy. And then when I was diagnosed and I realized, oh my gosh, that's executive dysfunction. It's literally my brain doesn't make the chemical that makes you get up and do things. I was like, oh my gosh, the problem wasn't me.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just wired differently. And that's when I started learning again how to work with my brain. One thing I learned is that I can't lose momentum. If I get off work and I know that I'm going to have to, go to the grocery store and do my laundry and, so what have you, I can't come home and sit down for a second and then do it because I will just stay sitting until it's time to go to bed. I have to just keep moving and doing things. There's no time for rest because when you rest, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's amazing. That's incredible. And I have an interesting question from Lorene. I'm Air Force. I would like to know how your commander is handling the fact that you have a mental situation and still serve in the Army. Have they been supportive knowing you have ADHD and anxiety? That's a very good question.
So people with mental health conditions still can serve within the military. It's only if it's determined that it would be a detractor or prevent them from doing their job that they would, then consider doing the chapter process. But the first goal of every commander is to help people receive treatment, or I will say every good commander. And I have a really good commander. So my company commander, my battalion commander, again, very supportive of me competing at Miss America, of me being a title holder, but they're also very supportive of the fact that I have to go to therapy once a month and I have to go to my psych appointments to get my meds refilled and, things like that, because I still do my job. I'm still able to keep up with all of my responsibilities, and they recognize that me receiving care doesn't take away from my ability to do my job. It actually increases my ability to be successful in my job. So they're not worried so much about, oh my gosh, she has a mental health condition. They're more worried about how can we help this soldier to function better so that she's not struggling to keep up with, working full time on top of going to school and being a title holder.
Yeah.
I think that's
really, really wonderful. I mean, that's just incredible. And I love that for you. You're extremely blessed.
I am.
I love it. Okay. So what do you think has changed most about you? You're only 21.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think has changed most about yourself in the past 5 years?
I'm a completely different person.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say just one thing because like I said, I watched a complete 180 from myself. When my sister passed away in 2015, I was a different person 3 years from then because I stopped competing. I graduated high school, so then I was just kind of floating around for a while. I wasn't really doing anything. I was struggling really hard with binge eating disorder, so I gained a lot of weight. I was very unhappy. I was very depressed. And then I joined the Army. And since then, I've seen a 180 change in that I lost 50 pounds to enlist in the Army, and I got physically fit, which I never thought I would be consistently fit in a way that was functional instead of just look good, right? I see myself differently. I know that if there's challenges that are in my way, I can kind of figure out how to backwards plan, whereas before I couldn't do that, and that's a coping mechanism I learned in therapy. I've learned how to tackle challenges head on, and I've also learned again that I'm capable of a lot more than I thought I was. Whereas before, I might shy away from the things that I was thinking about doing or the things that I wanted to do. Now I know that I can accomplish them. So I'm not worried about, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. I just kind of go for it first.
Absolutely.
I can still be hesitant. I'm very much a planner, but I plan and I'm like, okay, well, the worst that can happen is they say no. The worst that could happen, or the worst that can happen is, I don't know, I'm going to the rodeo tonight, making an appearance. So get thrown off a horse, whatever, I'll be fine. It's happened before. So I just do things, just go for it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that. I love it. Okay, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I would want to teleport. I just think it'd be really cool. Because again, being a title holder, it feels like I need to be in a million places at once. And especially getting ready to fly to Orlando, and then we're flying to Connecticut over Labor Day weekend and going to Connecticut again in December. We're going to be shopping in Tennessee for my Miss America competition wardrobe. It would save on airfare.
Yeah, exactly.
It would make things a lot more convenient. You know, I could just be like, oh, I need to go somewhere and then teleport. And,
I love that. That's a great superpower to have.
Right.
What has been one of the most, when did you get crowned?
I was crowned on June 8th.
June 8th. What has been one of the most fun things you've gotten to do or that you've loved about being Miss Colorado America?
Oh my goodness. Going out and meeting people in general. Even when it's not in the crown and sash, because there has been so much press on the Army side.
Yeah.
The U.S. Army posted me, ForceCom, Third Corps, Fort Carson, like all these people are posting about me. So people recognize me on base now, which is super weird because I'll just be at the shopette trying to grab, I don't know, an energy drink and some pickles. and I have a dude who's like, "You're Miss Colorado." And I'm like, yes, I am.
Oh,
I actually had one person who was just kind of watching me. And eventually, like the third time that I walked by, because I was looking for something specific, he went, "Miss Colorado," and just pointed at me, and I went, "Yes."
Yeah.
Didn't even say anything. He just, "Miss Colorado."
Right. Just in my head. I'm not stupid. That's Miss Colorado. Yeah. That's right. That's hilarious. Okay, guys. So if you're just joining us, we're getting close to the end of our interview, but I have been visiting with the amazing and beautiful and precious Maura Carroll. She is the newly crowned 2021 Miss Colorado America and will be competing for Miss America very soon. So this has been just so much fun. Okay, so do you have a role model?
I have a lot, so that makes it really difficult to try and I hate getting that question.
I know. And you know what? I thought I wasn't going to ask it, but I thought I would. And I'm glad you have a lot of them because that's how I am. You know, it's hard to pick just one. And that means you've been extremely blessed if you have a lot of role models. That's wonderful. Absolutely. Okay. So when is Miss America?
Miss America is going to be in December. We don't have an exact date yet.
Okay.
So we're waiting for them to announce that, but it's still very, very exciting.
It's exciting. And you've started getting, you said you're about to go shopping for your gown and your wardrobe. And where is that? When is that happening?
No idea. We still, a lot of it depends on my schedule because again, units preparing for deployment. So we're super busy right now. And also it depends on when our sponsor is available because we try to get in a time when no one else is going to be in the shop so that we can focus on, you know, this 1 or 2 days, we're going to get my wardrobe and we're going to get it figured out.
Yeah, good. I'm excited for you.
Me too.
Okay, so Maura, I just want to tell you, thank you so much, first of all, for your service to our country, for everything that you're doing, everything you've gone through, that you're inspiring others to, that they can get through things too. And I love that about you. I just think you're amazing. And I would be beyond proud if you would be crowned our new Miss America. You are an exceptional role model for others. And that's very, very important in this day and time to see young people who are really pushing forward, working hard, and doing good things for others. You're amazing.
Thank you so
So
much.
thank you so much.
Right before I go to work.
Well, I'm just so excited I got to visit with you today. I would love, after you compete and get crowned Miss America, hey, I would love to have you back on the show after you go compete for Miss America. Let's tell us all about that experience.
Oh, I'm
And
going
I'd love
to. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to come back and tell you guys all about Miss America.
Love it. I'd love it. I'd love it. Our viewers would love to hear what it's like at Miss America on that stage and your whole week of fun events and everything that you do. Well, really quickly, what is your talent?
I'm a classical singer.
Oh,
So
wow.
no, we haven't figured out, I'm not going to lie, what my talent's going to be quite yet, just because we have about 15 songs that we've narrowed it down to. We need to narrow it down even more.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just super, super, super excited.
So exciting.
To get all of that figured out and be able to announce it and to compete on the Miss America stage. Oh my gosh, that's really happening.
I can't wait for you. I'm so excited. I can barely stand it. Okay, Maura, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story with our viewers. It's been just a huge blessing, and you're amazing. And Lorraine said, ladies, have a good day. Thank you, Lorraine, for watching. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Please share the show. Let's share the story of this amazing young lady who not only serves our country daily, but is about to compete for the title of Miss America. And we are so proud of you. Thank you, Maura. I hope you have a great day. And if you need anything, call me. You have my cell. You have my information. You let me know if we can do anything for you here. But we will be cheering you on at Miss America, and we're very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We had a wonderful time.
Good. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, you can watch the Kelly Williams Show every week right here on Facebook and YouTube. And we hope you enjoyed the show today, and we hope you have a blessed and awesome rest of your day. Thank you, Maura. Miss Colorado, America 2021. Thank you.